My bad. I couldn't do anything about that. My mother was incapacitated.
Yeah, I got you.
Had to be rushed to the ER.
Oh.
Yeah.
She all right now?
Yeah, she'll be fine. It was just a bad reaction to something, but it did take like 2 days to get out of her system. It basically was a detox thing.
Let's see if this link works.
It's
gonna give me problems. Oh, it's gonna give me problems today.
Yeah, the traditions lives on.
Cthulhu!
Can demons please attack the link instead of
the podcast demons?
Okay, Kaku.
NTR Radio is live. With that, hit the thing.
See, a certain little chuny I have next to me cast a spell. The spell was to make the podcast work, but it did the opposite.
Done.
Did the opposite. Fucked up the link, which realistically, that's just status quo.
There you go.
Hit that button. Where is...
I swear one of the things I need to do is to stop watching you guys when I'm talking. Just because it's just distracting sometimes.
See, I'm used to it. I don't even know if I ever was distracted by that.
I'm only using my avatar though, so there's nothing to see here.
Well, yeah.
Unless you just
nothing to see.
Yeah, like the cops. Unless you just want to look at Erica giving you the wink.
Which, to be fair, it's not a bad course of action.
Especially if you know why. But no, the whole reason with that is while my camera does work, it would slow. I think it would actually slow things down, and the quality level is not good enough to compensate for that. Gotta love these built-in webcams.
Yeah, those things. The ones on laptops, yeah, those things are awful.
Yeah, so I think you get what I'm saying here.
Yeah, I actually have 2 webcams. One of them
mine's built in.
See,
mine too, but it sucks.
I got that one, which is decent, and I have this one, which is less decent, but still more decent than one of those built-in ones.
It's like I look at you guys on here, and it's like, yeah, no, mine would look like you're looking at a CRT monitor or some shit in comparison.
Well, here's the thing. See, Anubis has all this interesting shit in the background.
That would be boring as fucking mine.
No, see, all my interesting shit
is on the other side.
Yeah, it's like right there. If it was turned there, you'd be like, oh, that's all his stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't see much out of mine. You would see the most anime-oriented thing you would see is my Sailor Venus wall scroll. Other than that, you would see some of mine. You might see some of my knives, the bookshelf.
There's some
guitar case. I mean,
there's a Monica.
So I deliberately engineered my setup to show off the
stuff,
the largest quantity of interesting shit that I could possibly show off at one time.
I call bullshit because I don't see Toilet Chan.
Jesus Christ, people. Where am I supposed to put Toilet Chan? I already got the Nendoroid there, or I can maneuver around this thing.
We'll dedicate this episode to the disappearance of Haro.
Haro ain't been here for like a month.
I know. When's the last time we did an episode, though?
Oh, 3 weeks ago.
So close enough.
No, I'm saying Haro has not been here for a significant amount of time.
Lies and slander.
Don't know if that came in. Hopefully not. All right. Stupid fan thing. I don't want it to come in.
It's raining like hell here.
Yeah, it's gonna rain on Tuesday here.
Good times.
All right. Give me 1 second, then we'll roll.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
For the record, I'm terrible at Mario.
It happens.
Terrible.
I'm actually good at video games in general. Not to brag, but I've been playing them for so long, and I've just always been reasonably good at them.
So yeah, certain games I'm really good at, but others I'm like I have like no skill for.
Or like platformers hard for you?
Depends which platformers. Like the Sonic games, I'm really good at because
Terrible at Mario, not too bad at Sonic.
I'm good at both of those. It's like, why can't I find like-minded people?
Well, because Sonic 1, it's the one button thing.
All 3 buttons jump.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's
at least the first Sonic game.
Also, it's you're invincible as long as you have rings.
To an extent, I mean, stuff that has like pits and shit or spikes, you're not necessarily invulnerable. Yeah, I'm sure somebody listening. I'm sure some nerd listening to this is like, "Fuck you, Death Egg Zone. You don't have any rings." In number 2.
And then there's just a bunch of games that, like, despite their like popularity and like legend, like they're sort of legendary at this point, I've never even touched. I never played the Zelda stuff.
Boo!
I've played 30 seconds of a Zelda game.
See, I'm gonna be bringing up the rear in some of these insert gay jokes here. I'm not gay, by the way.
I like how you need to.
I'm sure somebody out there is thinking, yeah, you are. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, we can get rolling.
Alrighty.
That button. All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. Good, good.
Checking the levels. Checking the levels.
Good, 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 good. Everything's good. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Force Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm VZ Mark II.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and it's my fault. Unfortunately, I had a family emergency. Well, okay, it's not my fault the emergency happened, but it's my fault that the show had to be postponed.
Things are always happening in this podcast.
It happens. I mean,
well, yeah. Well, here's now they're attacking family members.
Yeah, see, the great old ones have become privy to our situation.
So they could have stopped us by just not allowing us to have microphones and internet connections.
See, and that would be the title of the episode. $_ AIT happens.
Nah, I think we could do better.
I usually use that £sign as a substitute for an H.
Okay, but
speaking of £signs, you can get at us at the IRC channel by going to ntrradio.net, clicking the chat link, and giving yourself a nickname in the chat window, hitting the button, and join us in the IRC channel. Alternatively, you can hit up irc.ryzen.net using your favorite IRC client and join us in the # SLC Media channel. In addition, you can get at us by email at ntrradio@gmail.com, and you can get at us on Twitter at TAnubis, at VZMK2, and at NTR_radio.
Because I have burned my account. Again, not going to get into that. Just really felt like leaving Twitter. I don't know. Okay, that sounds so stupid. I felt like leaving Twitter. Like Twitter has some sort of special significance. I just really don't like the direction it's been, and quite honestly, a lot of the fans have been annoying me. Not of the show, but of anime in general.
Well, you know what we can burn the bridges with, even though we never even attempted it. Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
Recent news about Patreon.
Yeah, I have some. There's some people I know that are not going to be happy about that.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I can't let this slide without mentioning it. You like how I worked in that segue from talking about the pound sign to talking about the IRC channel with the pound sign?
yes, very suave, Mr. Anubis. This isn't helping the gay jokes.
A master of segues, like the guy who invented it.
Considering the anime I'm going to be talking about later, it's not going to help any further.
Nah, but all right. So let's get this show on the road.
Well, first off, I got something a week ago.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget to say it because there are people not actually watching it.
It is a Nendoroid of Yoshiko.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got the last one too, online.
Alrighty. I don't have any Nendoroids. Not because I have a personal vendetta against them. I just don't have any.
There is one there. It's still there on Highway Japan that I think you should get for your because of your avatar.
Oh, okay.
They still have Erica Hartman there.
Just for clarification, while she is one of my favorite characters on Strike Witches, I don't consider her my waifu. I'm doing the air quotes thing. Some people get that. First off, I don't have one. You know.
We just have characters we really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do that.
No, don't you know he carries this Erica Hartman pillow around town?
I don't even have really hardly any merchandise of her besides the show.
You had that one figure.
Yeah, I do have a figure.
And I feel like for me in particular, this just happens because the characters I end up really liking have no merchandise. Like, how many Kotono Hakatsura figures are there?
Just mouse pads, man. Just mouse
pads. There's characters I like that never got anything. I'm looking at you, Kana Memo. Kana from Kana Memo.
But yeah, I was having some really annoying interactions with some anime fans, and I was just like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Lovely.
You know, for being a medium I actually like, the fans are just whoo.
Oh, Ani Twitter.
Yeah, basically. Holy shit.
In fact, please change immediately.
I sorry, you cut out there, man. What did you say?
I said never change. In fact, please change immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a map. It may or may not have been printed off of Google Maps. Please change your route.
All right, so I guess we talk about the stuff we're watching.
Yeah, and I actually have some stuff this time.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I'm only watching one thing so far.
Okay, you go first.
Do it, bros.
Listen, okay. Tour.
Oh yeah,
I've heard about that.
The end of the world thing.
The end of the world. This show is so amazing.
Okay,
and
I will give it a cursory look.
And they look like strawberry marshmallow character design.
What? It's like Sai and Miyako from Hidamari's sketch ended up in the post-apocalypse. That's
all right.
Seriously,
a little bit.
How am I in Haramagito?
It's really cool. Like it's got like the really cute Hidamari sketch thing going on, and it's also got like the really well done post-apocalypse world building going on. So it's got both of those things at the same time.
Does it have like any mutant fucking animals or people or anything running around?
No, there's barely any people.
Oh, okay. This isn't
we're talking. It's like life. It's real life after people.
I hope this isn't like that show School Life that I couldn't get into.
No, it's not like that.
All right, thank you.
As far as I understand it, it's not like that.
Thank you. I probably made QA the Third mad just now because he really liked that show.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
I still need to watch it.
All right, you want to go next, K-Gods? Because
I probably don't. I probably didn't see as much as you did, but okay, I'll throw some stuff out there. I ended up finishing off the Konosuba OVA.
Right.
Because of that, I had gotten around to it. So I did that, and I enjoyed it. Although, it really just felt like an extra episode. Not really what I associate with OVAs.
There's a second season that just ended last
Yeah, and I haven't got to that yet. Let's see here. I went and saw No Game No Life 0. I actually went to the theater for once.
You gotta tell me about that because I was gonna see that in the theater, but I decided not to.
Okay, there was about 18 other people there, just to give you an idea. Which even that surprised me. I was expecting like there to be like 5. So went there. It was really enjoyable. There was one thing I got a nitpick about though, and that's like the first 20 minutes was just like a dub interview thingy, and basically it was them talking about the show before I seen it. Before I saw
why not put that at the end?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that didn't make any sense. It's like, why did you put this before it? Because you're talking about shit that I haven't seen yet.
Come on, Sentai. That was Sentai who did that, right?
Yes.
Come on, Sentai.
Again, a little minor annoyance. The rest of it was nobody was dicking around on their phones or anything like that, mercifully.
Nice.
Or at least not when the actual show was playing.
Or at least, and they probably weren't making noise, I hope.
No. There wasn't a peep.
Good.
Which was, yeah. That being said, if you want to see this movie, again, I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as I can. Okay, first off, it's a prequel. I almost said prelude. Prequel, and that there's not a whole lot of reoccurring characters from the show because it takes place before the show, considerably. Like 6,000 years or some shit.
Okay.
It's very dark. Like the actual show is pretty lighthearted for the most part in most cases.
Yeah.
This show was dark. Like not like doesn't go into like berserk territory or anything, but it's dark. It's incredibly it's hard to explain, but just be warned. It's not cheery, not at all. It was enjoyable. I thought it was pretty good. I thought I had to go do it. It was only playing like that day.
Right.
Oh, and NTR Radio Demons. I forgot I had a $20 bill to pay it, and it fell out of my pocket.
Oh.
And this is bad because it fell out when I was getting my keys out to start basically to open the door of the car. So it was in my driveway. So I come back home, and so then I had to come back home and get in the driveway and get it, and by that time it had started, so I had to catch the late night screening. So I got lucky, but boy, was that a real pain in the ass. So it was good. It was pretty enjoyable. I think I liked the original show more, just simply for the fact that I like the characters a bit more. And this one, there was a couple of recurring characters like Jabril, which is the Flugel.
Yeah.
I'm not, again, I can't really spoil anything, but if you were a big fan of her in the show, this movie might not treat you very well. Let's just say that. That's as far as I can go without getting too into it. Beyond that, I restarted watching Senran Kagura just for shits and giggles.
Good call.
Lesbian titty ninjas.
Yeah, basically.
That pretty much describes the show. It's like, what's this about? Well, they're lesbians. They got big titties.
And they're ninjas. Shinobi, to be precise. Yeah, basically. That's about the size of it.
Don't forget the OVA that they made, too.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. And if you're talking about Senran Kagura, that size is pretty big. So beyond that, a couple other things. They're not anime related, but they are interesting. At least I think so. There's a PBS. Yeah, I know, PBS. They have a documentary series about Vietnam that I'm watching.
Oh, yeah, that was the Ken Burns one.
Yes, it's very good. It's very interesting. Some really fucked up footage, too, by the way. But there's no way you're not going to get that if you're talking about Vietnam with any kind of sincerity. For those out there who don't know. Lots of nasty little burns and things like that occurred. Self-immolation. Yeah. Anyway, beyond that, there's that. And I also picked up, what the hell is it now? I'm reading a book. It's called Lucifer's Hammer, which outside of having a cool name, it's old sci-fi. It's I'm trying to remember the guy's name, the names of who wrote it. It's like Nevin and I can't think of the guy's name. Like I just started it not that long ago. It's like Pornell or something like that. Anyway, these two people wrote it, and it's about a comet, and it's post-apocalyptic. It doesn't start that way, but that's where it's going. Clearly,
it ends that way.
Yeah. Again, if anybody has already read it, don't spoil it. I'll get there. So, beyond that, I also am looking into these really cool swords and sorcery books, and I'm a sucker for that shit. Call that being part of my youth, if you will. Conan the Barbarian and all that. But it's kind of more modern in the sense of it's not an old author. It's more noobs kind of coming in and following that same train of thought.
Right.
So, pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Is there anything other? Oh, I did check out that first anime with the Nazi thing.
How was that?
Not that good.
Oh, because I heard a lot
it looked kind of crappy too.
Oh, all right.
The visuals were not very good, which was disappointing because I was kind of hoping it would be like Hellsing in that department, where they kind of like had. Again, if you haven't seen Hellsing, I guess it doesn't help, but there's an element of that, where like these runaway battalions are actually vampires and whatnot. Let's see here. Are you talking about Tanya? No. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah,
it's showing this season.
Yeah, it was like a Latin name.
Yeah, it sounded cool on paper, or in this case on AniChart. But nah, it kind of looks crummy.
Well, okay, I got a show you guys need to watch right now.
We're
doing a podcast, sir.
Finish the podcast, so not right
All
now.
right.
But
okay, right after
figuratively, right now.
Right after you're done with after the podcast, you watch this shit now.
Well, then I'm editing it, but after that.
Okay, tomorrow.
And after that, I'm probably gonna have to use the bathroom and maybe eat something good. And
understand how I never get anything
porn. Watched. Yeah, we get it. Okay, Blend S.
Yeah, okay. I've been seeing a lot about that show.
So I can't describe. This is one of the best shows this year.
Anime of the season?
Oh, well, definitely anime of the season. And you have to understand that what other things are competing of this season. Because when I get into what the other shows this season, you'll know. I am just totally enthralled with this one. It's gonna pain me when it comes, because it's an Aniplex thing, and I feel like I'm gonna have to get it when it comes out, even though it's gonna be like an Aniplex price.
Oh yeah, get that Aniplex money.
That's what you got to do in CSN. Get paid or get rich.
Get that. I gotta write that on the whiteboard. Get that Aniplex money.
I love the main girl Micah, where she's this hyper polite Yamato Nadeshiko type.
I swore you were gonna say hyper bipolar.
Hyper bipolar. No, but she had again, it's a cosplay cafe where they have different personalities.
Okay.
And she has to be the sadist.
You're referring to the A1 Pictures deal.
Yeah. And she's she goes to the customers thank you, and don't come back again.
And don't come back?
Yeah. And then she's right
Ouch.
after that, immediately fiercely apologizing, I'm sorry, I want you to come back.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. Okay, so there's a bunch of other things I gotta get through. Love Live Sunshine Season 2. Mm-hmm. More of the same. It's kind of exactly the way the second.
Which means my friend Tim is beating off
the second season of the original show, the original Love Live, the second season, where it's taken a couple episodes to get really good, but and right now it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think the first season, again, just like the first season of the original, the first season of Sunshine is better material, but it'll get there. It'll get to that point. So, then there's Umara Chen R, the second season.
How is that anyway?
Really funny. It's more the same. It's basically her being, as you say, Nuva's. What is it?
A little shit.
Yeah,
An annoying little shit.
yeah. It's her being more. No, like change from the first season, which is fine.
Yeah, that show doesn't need to change its formula.
And then there's Idolmaster Side M, which I'm not getting into the shorts, is actually the weakest of the 4 shows I'm watching. It's still, I'm still liking it. Don't get me wrong. It seems to be going through the same motions as like the original, both the original and Cinderella Girls.
Mm.
But I'm enjoying it. It's not because they're male idols. It's just I feel like I've seen what they're doing before.
Mm-hmm.
The one you're interested in, Anubis, the one with the glasses. I'm like, what the fuck is his problem throughout the show?
So he's an asshole?
I know what it is, because yeah, well, he's basically like the Chihaya of the show.
Oh wow, okay.
I think it's because
I don't know if I want to.
He was
this guy anymore.
he was originally a doctor, and he lost a patient, female. Like a girl.
Well, he actually has a reason to be angsty and not Chihaya.
Well, Chihaya also had a reason. If you saw the rest of the show.
Yeah, I didn't see the rest of the show.
Okay, well, you watch the rest of that show, and then you'll come back and say, "Okay, now
Making
I like
a lot
Chihaya
of orders
here." And then there's the 2 shorts that I'm watching. More Cinderella Girls Theater, which is more of the same.
Okay.
And then I'm watching this one that I'm really enjoying called "Love Is Like a Cocktail."
That almost sounds like a bad bubblegum pop song.
Where it's like this office worker woman who comes home to her husband, and he was always making a different cocktail, and she's always getting drunk, but not angry drunk, like the type of drunk where they can like openly express themselves more.
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying that. The ones I would say to avoid this season, Just Because. That's the name of the show, Just Because.
Just cause.
Yeah. That was so boring. The one Emoto Sai. I forgot the full title. That's the one that done by the Haganai author.
Okay.
I didn't care for that one. And I would say I also didn't care for the... Oh, what was the other one? Shit, there was another one. God. I'd say I don't even remember. I'm going to look real fast.
Mm-hmm.
It was another harem thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I can't remember.
Okay, well, while you're figuring that out, I looked and I saw the show that you were actually talking about earlier. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DS Ere, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I found what I was talking about. The one, My Girlfriend is a Faithful Virgin Bitch.
Oh, okay.
That name never stops amusing me.
It could have been really funny because it's from Dio Media.
Yeah.
Which is the same studio that did No Kame, and it has a similar feel to that. But that show was really funny. This one just kind of nah. Like it should be really funny to me, but it's not. I don't know. Blindness is where it's all at in terms of humor. Like that's the funniest thing this season. So that's my top recommendation.
All right. Again, I haven't really started on any new shows besides that one. And again, didn't like it right off the bat, so I'm just gonna move on to something else.
Move on to that girl's last tour.
Yeah, sounds like it would be, and since you've already said so, sounds like it'd be better than this stinker.
Yeah.
And if you want funny Blindness, it's
Anyhow, what else has everybody been up to?
I finally dipped my toes into the Nendoroid market.
Yes.
By that, are you saying you bought stuff, or are you saying you're selling it?
I've always been selling Nendoroids, but I finally actually bought one.
I was kind of dicking with you. Sorry.
Sega Saturn from Sega Hard Girls.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound like a JAV title?
Kind of does.
Like Sega Hard Girls?
Don't know why they went with that title, but all right.
It's like some girl dressed up as Tails or some shit. Yeah, there's some fat kind of bull-legged person walking around that's fucking that's Eggman. Oh, that's a visual nobody wants. Okay, moving along for the sake of being able to sleep.
Other than that, and we'll do this in the first segment because it's not going to take too long and it'll tie directly into the main segment. I went to a convention last weekend.
Okay.
It's called Retro World Expo. It happened in Hartford, Connecticut. Same convention center as Kineticon usually happens in, except they used like a third of it. Like they really didn't fill the convention, which is to be fair, it's their third year, I think, and the previous two were happening in some place that like the whole rest of Connecticut might as well be this place that they were holding this, because I have no idea where it was, but they had it in the Hartford Convention Center this year, and it was pretty good. It really the first gaming convention I've been to.
Okay, I don't think I've actually been to a gaming per se convention. I could. I mean, they come around here.
Oh yeah, it's kind of different, and if the one I went to is representative at all, but it's kind of different. There's a lot less cosplay, a lot less programming in general. And again, the one I went to was pretty small, but most of what I did there was shop.
Yes.
And
did you do it until you dropped?
Understand my struggle, because I have a Sega Saturn, and there's no retro game store you can go to that has a whole hell of a lot of Sega Saturn games.
Only you might be able to stop at a Slackers, maybe.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They're a brand that has CDs and games, and they have a whole fuck ton of used games.
Yes, so I did a whole lot of shopping. They picked up a whole bunch of stuff that I was looking for and a whole bunch of stuff I was not looking for that I figured was cool anyway.
But now I have it anyway, yeah. Okay, so...
for the Sega Saturn, I picked up Virtua Fighter 2.
Okay.
And Sega Rally Championship. I mean, Sega Rally Championship is this game that I had on a Sega Saturn demo disc that I never actually played the full version of.
Okay.
But now I own it, so I have that.
I used to be like that
with Dreamcast. I picked up.
Sorry.
Was that?
I said I used to when I first got an original PlayStation, they had those demo discs too. And that's actually how I first played that game, IQ.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Nightmare Creatures and some of this stuff. Good times. I honestly think they should do that more often.
We'll have demo discs
like that, because it's like you're bored one day and you're just kind of playing things you otherwise normally wouldn't play, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Well, demos are basically gone by the wayside for the most part.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me.
So for the Dreamcast, speaking of demo discs, for the Dreamcast, I picked up Power Stone and Power Stone 2. And Power Stone is one of those games that I only played on the demo disc for the Dreamcast. And Power Stone 2 is one of those games that I only ever played over a friend's house.
That's funny. The other day I was looking up the Power Stone anime.
Is that even... I actually forgot that even existed.
Yeah, I keep forgetting they made a Power Stone anime.
I just wanted to see the Arabian girl.
Oh, yeah.
See how shallow I am?
No. See, I'm more amused by the concept that you can actually see her.
Actually, you know what needs to, you know what needs a comeback. You know what needs to a comeback, Anubis. All right. I'm gonna piss Anubis off. I'm gonna trigger Anubis, and then we'll go to a break. Your favorite fighting series?
Tekken?
No.
Yeah, up to 7.
No.
They're up to 7.
Yes. I'm not happy about it, but they are.
You know what needs a fucking comeback? Who else remembers Battle Arena Toshinden?
I saw that game. They had it at the thing.
All right. Who remembers the Russian one with the big?
I don't know anything about it, so all the rest of your questions are gonna fly directly over my head.
What was it? Russian titty monster with a whip and long ponytail, and they made an OVA of that too. And they made an OVA of that too back then.
Does anybody remember? And I think it was from Bushido Blade.
Yes.
Okay, there's a game I've played.
Yeah, which I remember it. I kind of remember it. I remember it had kind of a different kind of goal. It wasn't just a typical.
Yeah. It was.
It's a fighting game where you die in 2 hits.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Which that's kind of realistic actually, but but no, it's not like Soul Calibur which is probably my favorite of those kind. Those sort of fighters. But anyway, didn't it have like a Russian person like that, just tried to shoot you when you got far enough?
The only 2 characters I remember that is there was a black, maybe it was black, I don't remember, but with an afro.
Of course.
Like a very I said but like a very disco era look.
In Bushido Blade?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, so I must be...
I don't remember from Bushido Blade. That said, I remember very little from Bushido Blade.
Also, there was a girl whose weapon was like frogs.
Okay, now I think I'm about 80% sure you're talking about a completely different game.
No, it's Bushido Blade.
I remember...
it's Bushido Blade.
Is it the first one or second one?
It's the first one, because that was the only one I ever played.
All right. Because I don't know what you're talking about either, unfortunately.
Well, both of these were like side characters, I think. It wasn't.
Anyway, for the purposes of not dragging that on.
Yeah, let's continue. So this is how I fuck my own life up. So I bought Steel Battalion, the game.
Oh boy.
So for people who don't know what Steel Battalion is this Xbox game that had this specialized controller. It comes in 4 blocks. One right side, left side, center, and then a set of pedals. It costs like $100-something.
Ouch.
So, well, no, you say ouch now. So I'm gonna have to buy that eventually. I'm also gonna have to buy an original Xbox eventually because I don't own one of those anymore. So this is how I ruin my own life, is by buying Steel Battalion.
I'm putting in the chat. Here's the Afro guy I was talking about. There you go. See, just there's the Afro guy.
Okay, that's Bushido Blade 2.
Oh, all right, 2. But I saw him in the first one as well, because that was the only one I ever played.
Afro guy for fucking Bushido Blade, but cool. We do the Afro guy.
Let me find Frog Girl.
Wasn't that My Hero Academia?
Yeah. There's thing that too.
In the meantime, while you're doing that, I also picked up Forza 2 for the Xbox 360, just cause.
Just cause.
I got Gundam Battle Assault 2 for the PlayStation.
Okay.
Because this is another game I've only played like with other people who owned it and never actually got by myself.
I'm gonna admit something of ignorance here with these Gundam games. I've always been intimidated by them just from the fact there's so many of them, and I have no idea which ones are good or not.
Now I can explain. I can explain on some Gundam games. Battle Assault 2 is pretty good. It's far from my favorite. It's a 2D side-scrolling fighting game. So
Interesting.
They've got all different Gundams from all different series. They got the Sazabi in there.
What system is this for?
PlayStation.
Regular
ass PlayStation.
Okay.
So I got that. I also got Gundam Zeonic Front for the PS2.
Okay.
Those PS2 Gundam games that I missed out on back in the day.
All right.
This one is a sort of turn-based tactics game where you play as a Zeon squadron.
The name kind of gave that away.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they had a whole bunch of old PC games. So I got Dungeon Siege, which for it was a period about 3 years where Dungeon Siege was the game for me. And then Mech Warrior 2, which if anyone's heard me launch into one of my Harmony Gold rants, Mech Warrior 2 is basically what incited that entire fandom for me of Mech Warrior.
You know what? I think it was 2 that I played. Bushido Blade 2.
Yeah, because these were not at all ringing a bell to me, and I've never played 2. So.
All right, and here's Frog Girl. There you go. Yeah, definitely 2 is the one I played.
Yeah, so okay. Picking up old games. It's interesting when you see some of these ones that didn't really take off very well, but it's oh yeah, I remember that. Hey, it's Chocobo Dungeon.
I know something you need to look up for the Saturn, Anubis. It's either individual if you buy Japanese, or they have one, or the US release was Sega Ages or something, which had 3 of them, but the original Space Harrier is on there.
Do you happen to have a Symphony of the Night for Saturn or PlayStation?
Nope.
That's a good one.
Castlevania is another one of those franchises that I've only played a minute 30 seconds of.
That's one of the ones that started the quote unquote Metroidvania. Which that phrase annoys the fuck out of me. By the way,
that one, the SNES one, and the Genesis one.
Yeah,
I never played the original one.
Bloodlines is the Genesis one. The Super Castlevania 4, are you thinking of?
Yes.
SNES? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Which is basically supposed to be a reboot of the first one.
In any case, we're up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
For some reason, I think you're gonna hit a button and break into some really soft rock or some shit.
This is for you, K-Gods.
Oh.
For the future.
The future. Yeah. Okay, what do we got? Nendroid. Droid. Okay, it's all well and good. Okay, I see, yeah. Good Smile Company.
Yes.
Which, by the way, if you ever go... Who's backing up? if you ever go
Catacomb's butt is backing up.
If you ever go to Anime Expo,
yeah.
if you go to the Good Smile Company line, it's long.
Yeah,
I bet.
No, you have to get a ticket for the line. Yeah. One of my buddies had the same problem. He's like, okay, we're giving you a ticket, and this is to get in a different line.
Oh, see, yeah. when they were there at Comic-Con, it just, I
don't know. Might have been more people there. I don't know.
Probably because it was an anime con.
Probably.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. Have you seen the footage of people wrapped around the buildings there from when that was going on? it was bad. They really weren't prepared for that. They thought they were, but day one proved them quite wrong. Fortunately, I think they're mailing their badges out for next time.
Good.
Which just
more cons needs to start doing that.
Yeah, I think they used to do it, but then like some kind of fraud shit was popping up, or
Anubis's favorite fighting franchise.
Yeah, and I
Up
can
to
just
7.
Like, I'm already feeling the burn here.
Up to 7.
Hi, my name's Tekken. I'm the welfare Virtua Fighter. I'm the fighting game that came out for people who weren't good at Virtua Fighter, but still wanted to pretend that they were good at Virtua Fighter. So
yes, I didn't get why that continue on, but Battle Arena Toshinden hasn't.
I can tell you why Tekken has enjoyed as much success as it has. Get ready to get hate mail. Basically because people who button mash like it, and so basically people that are game journalists can beat it.
See, you're concerned about getting hate mail. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Because I know I can destroy any of these people in a real fighting game.
What's ironic is that the company that does Tekken, which is Namco, is also saying does Idolmaster.
It's also the same that does Soul Calibur.
Which is a
good
much better game. Or franchise, rather.
There you go. Idol fighting game. There you go. Someone make it.
All that would do is break my heart.
Well, no.
I don't want to see.
Isn't there already technically
get her forehead mashed in?
Isn't there already sort of a technical version of that already? There's a game, and I kid you not, called Battle Raper.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one of those terrible hentai games that needs 2 hands to play.
Was that the one? What was the one that got that? The one that everyone jumped on for 15 minutes.
Oh, that was a totally different thing.
Yeah. What was that called again?
That was a lower mid-level, just 3D hentai game.
Yeah. But what was it called again now?
Rapeplay.
Oh, Rapeplay. That's it. Yeah.
As if the name wasn't just. I wonder what this is about.
Yeah. But they were running like these are the type of games they all have in Japan. It's like
they didn't quite say it like that. They acknowledged it was sort of the underbelly, but they made it.
Even Matt Alt, who's like the cultural expert of like Japan that they go to, said, "Nah, this is like a niche thing."
But it didn't matter. It didn't stop them from running it. No, because they ran it just kind of like you can buy these at your convenience store.
Yeah. You could go to
7-Eleven and buy rape games.
Yeah, or Lawson, which is also like another convenience store in Japan. Just like I want one replay, please.
Well, here's the funny thing about that is if you actually knew anything about that story, it was somebody who bought it in wasn't it Britain?
Yeah, they ordered it like online or something.
Yeah,
they downloaded a version or something.
See, I thought they ordered it and got caught with it, like as contraband or something.
No, I think it was they downloaded it. Makes it even more like.
Well, that's even more dumb. But that does bring to mind one point. You can't say he didn't know. This game's called Rapeplay. Let me play that. What's this?
I'll be right back. Then we'll head into the second segment.
Alrighty.
Yeah. All these franchises that we like that haven't had anything, and then like the one that Anubis can't stand is like still going. It's like,
yeah, it happens.
That's like me and like Space Harrier. It's like, well, okay, where's the Space Harriers? Where's classic Sega?
Making French fries for other people. Sorry if it's true, but they're not really in the game anymore. No pun intended.
Nah, they just keep and not to knock Sonic, but that's all they do anymore.
And let's be honest, the Sonic fandom is possibly worse than the anime fandom.
I've kind of already figured out why that is, because they're really into the Sonic lore.
Well, not only that, but like not even just the lore, but like the art community is fucking awful.
Was it male preg Sonic characters with scat?
Yeah. Ooh, yuck.
You know what you do? You take Sonic the Hedgehog, then you take Pikachu, and you put them together.
No.
But then you really make it about yourself.
Some sort of yeah. Well, fortunately,
and you color it in marker.
Well, why? Okay. I'm glad we're on break because I'm glad this will be edited out for the official thing. Yuck.
I'm back.
All right. Well, you missed out on a lovely conversation. We were talking about Sega and their disappearance from the kind of gaming community, except for Sonic. And I was like, well, yeah, and you know, the Sonic fandom is, they're worse than the anime fandom, arguably. It's rough.
I got fucking words about the Sonic thing.
He's got words, man. He's got words. No, but he was talking about, then VZ immediately went to the point about the art part of it, like people drawing fucked up shit. And just like impreg and things like that. And I'm just like, yeah. Coloring it in with marker and
but oh no, my original Sonic character, do not steal.
Yeah,
it's like
do not steal a character you're already ripping off.
Yeah, and it's like my ultra toony, edgy character. That's like, look how creative I am.
No, you're not. That's the point. That would be like if somebody's tracing something and said they were creative. Not really.
All right, ready on second segment.
Yeah, do you have do you have kind of some structure for this, I hope?
Well, I got basically every really good Gundam game I have, so I figured we could start off with a primer on the good Gundam games.
Gundam game.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right. In 3, 2. Welcome back to NTR Radio. So last segment, K-Gods were asked about what are the good Gundam games. So I happen to own several good Gundam games. So we're going to give a quick primer on what the really good Gundam games are. So the one I don't have here in my hand is Mobile Suit Gundam Federation versus Zeon, which it's an early entry into the Gundam Versus series, which
means all the bugs are still in there.
Well, it's a lot more down to earth.
Like
if you see, I don't have this one in my hand currently.
Mm-hmm.
The more modern Gundam Versus games, they're all real crazy with like momentarily summoning other mobile suits to do special attacks and all that sort of stuff. Whereas Federation versus Zeon is a lot more down to earth. It's actually really cool. You get this campaign mode where you pick, I'm gonna play as a Federation pilot or as a Zeon pilot, and you go through the 1-year war like that.
All right. Okay. Now, is this just a typical? How does this actually play?
It's what I like to refer to as, and I think this is actually what it's officially called. It's a 3D arena fighting game. So you play from a third.
So basically, what Tekken said it was.
Well, no, that's just a 3D fighting game. Gundam Versus, and this is to get a little bit inside baseball. This is a game genre that kind of started off with Virtual On, and Gundam Versus kind of took that formula and opened it up a little bit. But you play from a third person's perspective. You play your mobile suit from that perspective, and it's sort of based around you lock on the enemy and you sort of circle strafe around him while firing and like doing the melee attacks and whatnot.
All right. I think
all
I think I
that.
got what you're going for here.
Yeah. So now the one I do have in my hand is basically the next generation of that. This is Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam versus Zeta Gundam. And so this is basically what I just explained to you, taken into Zeta Gundam and a little bit into Double Zeta as well. So you can go through and unlock different mobile suits from Double Zeta. Yeah, there's if I'm not mistaken, there's really actually a whole Double Zeta campaign hidden away in this game here. What's really cool about Gundam versus Zeta Gundam is it kind of takes that formula from Federation versus Zeon, where you sort of pick a pilot, Federation or Zeon, and go through the 1 year war. Whereas Gundam versus Zeta Gundam has the entire timeline, and you can choose different characters at different points in time. And what's awesome is you can actually go through and save characters who die in Zeta Gundam.
Please do not say them.
No spoilers, but that'll change the timeline, and that'll change certain elements of what happens throughout the game.
Well, yeah, because if you did that, there are certain things that would just completely be kind of turned on their ear a bit.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So that's the gameplay is very similar and still very down to earth compared to the modern versus titles. Then you get this is one I picked. This is the most recent one I picked up, other than Zeonic Front. This is Gundam Journey to Jaburo.
All right.
So this is you're playing as Amuro from. I think it starts out in a side 7. But what you go through basically the entire ground campaign of Mobile Suit Gundam. So all the time you're on the Earth, from their landing on Earth all the way up to Jaburo, you go through each one of those missions. You fight the Black Tri-Stars, and you fight Garmazaki
and all that crap.
Yep, exactly.
Well, unless you're talking about the movie version where they actually technically didn't make it in time, if you're going with that.
Yeah, no, they have the Odessa thing in there, but this actually, and this does a little bit of the same thing Federation versus Zeon did, in that there's an unlockable sort of side mission thing where you can play as a Federation pilot or a Zeon pilot. And the Federation actually goes a little bit deeper, where there's a scene from, you can play out a scene from 0080, and I think there's an 8th MS team scene you can play in there as well.
Well, since they technically take place during the first series.
Right. So there's that. And this is sort of the spiritual successor to Journey to Jaburo is Gundam Encounters in Space.
Which was the name of the 3rd film, by the way.
Exactly.
If you're talking about the compilation, I don't even feel right calling them compilation films, but I mean...
so Gundam Encounters in Space, the game, takes place throughout all the space missions of the 1 year war, as well as...
So it's kind of... So it runs parallel to doing the ground thing.
Bingo, exactly. And there's a whole lot of side content in Encounters in Space. This is probably my favorite Gundam game, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, are you like assaulting a Boaku and things like that?
It's a Boaku, Solomon, and you're actually doing a whole lot of there. Like I said, there's a whole lot of side content. For most of the ace pilots you encounter during the 1 year war, and a few of them afterwards, each of those people has a campaign. So there's the Black Tri-Star. You can play as the Black Tri-Stars. You can play as Char Aznable. You can play as Anavel Gato.
You can
play as Galahad?
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask if you could play as like Johnny Raiden.
Johnny Raiden's in there.
Okay.
Uraki's in there.
Fucking Koaraki, the most incompetent fucking person in the pilot. Holy shit.
The Yu Kojima from the side story Blue Destiny is in there. And
that's interesting.
It's got like all the mobile suits from each one of these properties. So it's got all the
That's a lot.
ones you see in Mobile Suit Gundam. It's got all the ones you see in. It's got the Confer. It's got the Alex. It's got GPO2, GPO3, GPO1. The entire Gendrobium.
Yeah, which is sweet.
The Noisiel. Everything, even fighters, even both type. No, all 3 types of the ball.
Yeah, just in case you want, a specific kind.
Really want to die.
Yeah, or if you just want to die.
So it's got an entire original side story in here following the Thoroughbred and Gundam's Unit 4 and 5, RX 78-4, RX 78-5. It's got an entire character creation thing where you pick Federation versus Zeon and go through 8 missions building your character, and then you can use that character in the versus mode. There's a whole lot in Encounters in Space. If you're going to get one Gundam game for the PS2, Encounters in Space needs to be that game, because this is hours, hundreds of hours in this video game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a primer on the really good Gundam games, at least for the PlayStation 2. There haven't really been all that many really good Gundam games outside of that.
Because going to one of these things or a Slackers or even a GameStop or something is probably the only way I'll get any of these games.
Yeah.
Anyone know, do you ever hear of because I've played this, the Famicom Zeta Gundam game Hot Scramble?
I've heard of it, never played it. Actually, I've never even seen it played, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, some of it is similar to Space Harrier, where it has the fake 3D perspective thing.
The kind of parallax scrolling sort of thing they had me doing. They had
not parallax scrolling. The where you're looking at like a tile.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perspective thing they had going on in Space Harrier.
Yeah. They had some of that in there.
Yeah, I know there was one for the Sega Saturn. There was an actual Blue Destiny game for the Sega Saturn, and that's one I want to check out. And one that I missed just a few minutes ago, talking about really good Gundam games. And this one sort of borders on that because the control scheme isn't very good considering what console it was on. But Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story 0079, I think it's called, for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, that one I remember because that one came out here.
So this game is like my dream Gundam game. First person perspective.
Yeah.
All of it. So you're in a GM and you're walking around in the first person. It's like Mech Warrior made in the Gundam universe. It's really wild, and they didn't really do many video games.
The GM from 8th MS, to be precise. Super Famicom actually had a bunch of Gundam games, and one is like so naturally like, of course they did this, a fighting game of G Gundam.
Naturally.
Yeah, it's like
that's probably the only one you could really pull that off with.
It's like of course, because it's pretty much G Gundam's pretty much Street Fighter with Gundam.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Really is.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, I think also the Gundam Wing one was also a fighting game one.
Also believable to an extent.
Yeah,
there was
to a lesser extent, but yeah.
And the other two, but they were more like turn-based strategy, which was the F91 and V Gundam.
So that kind of makes more sense than making a fighting game out of those.
Yeah.
Well, we can all be thankful at least it isn't a puzzle platformer.
Yeah. Gundam Braid.
Gundam Fez.
Gundam Tress, like Tetris.
Yes. Like, yeah, instead of like, yeah, there'll be like pieces of the fucking Mathis that you're trying to put back onto the fucking suit.
And there you go. a Gundam
Every
game
time the
where
Metis comes back to the friggin' Argama wrecked.
there you go. There's your Gundam game. You're piling the Methis.
I really wish you had the little Tetris music to play right now.
Methis simulator with a $500 controller. Make you feel like you're really in the Methis.
Yeah. No, all you need to do is set your room on fire. Then you'll feel like you're really in the Methis.
I don't smell anything. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Don't worry about the burning flesh. No, but okay, Gundam games. But what else did you do there? Did you take any panels? Did you see anything interesting?
A lot of the panels I went to were based around like YouTubing and streaming, because a lot of those people were there, and
Oh, okay.
there was a lot of the stuff the Geeky Panda was interested in. So I kind of went along with that and actually learned a whole lot, and that stuff I'm gonna apply to some extent to Yashike, to some extent doing more stuff with the podcast and whatnot.
Alrighty.
I didn't mention they had like real life arcade cabinets there.
Oh, nice. That's always cool.
Like I actually played some R-Type. I wasn't good at it, but I played some R-Type.
Oh wow. Nice.
I like, as far as side scrolling shmups go, R-Type is R-Type is up there with me.
Yeah, it's one of the best, but it's also really tough.
Yeah.
Because again, you have to like really be good at that like ball thing.
Well, how about this? Since you said there was arcade cabinets there, yeah. I'm gonna guess. You can just tell me if I'm off or not. Was there a Time Crisis unit?
No, that's what pissed me
really
off. They didn't have games there. No Virtual Cop, no Time Crisis, no Crisis Zone.
Because even this fucking golf course has a fucking Time Crisis.
Not even House of the Dead, I don't think.
I said in the chat. There's this anime that I need to really watch one day. It's one of those like I need to see it one day things called Zillion. I've told you about this.
Yep. From
1987, where it's pretty much by the Sega Master System, the anime. It had two games which actually came out here, and the guns that the characters have are the same as like the light gun.
Yep. But yeah, I played some Street Fighter, which I was bad at.
Yeah.
I played.
Is there any character you played as?
I played as Cammy.
Because you're a bro like that?
Yeah. This is something that's basically universal to me throughout all fighting games. I always play as female characters.
I don't always, but I often do.
Even when I do have a character that I'm really good at, it's always like Sarah Bryant in Virtua Fighter 2, Vanessa in Virtua Fighter 3 and beyond, in Virtua Fighter 4 and beyond. Any one of Ayane, Li Fang, or Kasumi from Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
Hilda, I think her name is, from Soul Calibur, the one with the spear.
Yeah, I like.
And I'm not even saying I'm good at Soul Calibur. She's just the character I'm
or Zhang
least bad with.
I'm pretty good with those characters. Even as far as Street Fighter goes, I've always been more of a. It depends on which one, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
All right, I mean, because you can pick Ryu or Ken or whatnot. But if you go a little further on, yeah, you have like Cammy or what's the? I can't think of the guy's name now. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee ripoff.
Oh yeah, Feng.
Oh yeah. Is it Fulong or something like that?
I'm almost certain.
Clearly a Bruce Lee ripoff and nothing else. But so is Liu Kang for that matter.
I mean, even down to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, with the exception of Mega Man, always got to go with Mega Man. My team is usually Mega Man, Cammy, Felicia, or Mega Man, Chun-Li, Felicia. It's always Mega Man and Felicia, but the third character is a wild card.
I know I'm probably going to upset some of the more traditionalists here, but I actually like the Alpha franchise more.
See, I don't actually know what the difference is, which might actually upset more traditionalists.
Well, they made the Alpha ones, which have these, which had like Dan and characters like that.
Okay, so because I know who Dan is, but I really do not know anything about Street Fighter.
Okay, well, let's just say I actually like those games more for some reason. I don't know. Oh, I just always enjoyed them. Plus, I liked some of the oddball characters that ended up showing up in them. And plus, you can't really knock being able to play as Akuma.
Naturally. I think that's the character the Panda plays as most often is Akuma.
Basically, the evil version of Ryu.
Yep.
And no, there actually is an evil Ryu, so I don't mean him. Which, that gets confusing as fuck when you're explaining that to somebody. Okay,
yeah,
so...
I did that. I played a bit of that. They had Afterburner. The Sega franchise game. Yeah.
They used to also have. There was a. There was a NES game of that too. Wasn't there? I could swear there was.
Well, that was more of a Sega thing.
I know Afterburner is a Sega franchise.
Oh, it is.
That's a thing made.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Probably thinking of a different.
Well, you know, it might have had an NES or a Famicom. Because here's the thing, there was even though like Space Harrier was a Sega exclusive thing, there was a Famicom port of it.
I'm gonna check that out because that's bothering me now.
Yeah. So and because they didn't have the like full thing, because I know they had the full thing which like rocked around and shit, but they didn't have that one. It was the stand-up thing where with the force feedback joystick, and that game is fun.
They did have a NES version. It's from Tengen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
See, I played it. I knew I did.
I remember Tengen.
Let's see what it has to say about it.
But to answer VZ's question, they did have Space Harrier, but not the arcade version. They had it running in the console area on a Master System.
I found out why you didn't know about it. It was an unlicensed port.
Naturally.
Yeah. Tengen wasn't really an official company.
But one of my uncles actually had this game because I knew I played it. But yeah, I could see since most arcade games usually do go to Sega, hence like, you know, Golden Axe or anything like that.
Or Rise from Your Grave.
Oh, fucking Altered Beast. Every fucking if you had a Sega, you had that game pretty much when you were a kid. At least if you were kind of got into it through the Genesis.
Well, I got the Genesis later in the 90s, so I had the Sonic one.
Well, I'm just saying most people who had Sega collections had that game.
Yeah. But I did play it.
Because you could buy it for like $1 or something. Nobody.
Power up.
But I do remember
they
that.
Also they had the fucking Power Stone 2 arcade cabinet, which I didn't realize was an arcade game until I saw that arcade cabinet.
Right.
So we played a little bit of that.
About Sonic the Fighters.
No, they didn't have that, unfortunately.
Sonic 2 Fighters.
Well, imagine that they had a Sonic Spinball arcade unit.
No.
Please tell me they didn't.
No.
Okay.
I hope that was never made. I can't.
Because it's hard enough to play on a controller.
Well, yeah, and I can't fathom the like arcade owner who would besmirch his own arcade with a Sonic Spinball arcade cabinet.
Yeah. But yeah, since you mentioned Altered Beast, I always tried to get into the Were Dragon form.
Oh yeah, the second level.
Yes. I always liked that the most out of those.
Did they have Truxton?
No.
That's another game. Or another vertical shooter, Raiden.
They had Raiden playing on the consoles.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have it on. The only other shmup I really noticed was, and it's arguable whether because it's not scrolling, but they had Galaga, which I was disappointed because the machine wasn't working when I walked up to it, and Galaga is my shit. Like Galaga is my game. I'm again not very good at it, but I love Galaga. Actually, it's a funny story, and this has nothing to do with this past convention,
segment, right?
Yeah, we're on the second segment.
Okay, just make it.
Pay attention, dude.
So, funny story, and this isn't part of this convention, but I was at Dave and Buster's a while ago, and for people who don't know what Dave and Buster's is, basically adult Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was joking. You're gonna say
it's
a Blockbuster's cousin.
Yeah, exactly. It's an eating establishment that has a whole bunch of arcade games, and for a lot of them, you can win tickets, like in Chuck E. Cheese's.
Oh, basically like the skee ball shit and things like that.
Yeah. So, and they had a version of Galaga there, and it was kind of like a watered down, modernized version of Galaga, but it was one of these ticket machines. So I ended up hitting the bonus and getting like a fucking trillion tickets. Not enough to get anything of
awesome.
Mind you.
Oh, so wait, you get a trillion tickets, but still not worth it.
Yeah, no. They inflate the ticket value on these things insanely. You know how it is.
So it's like,
put it this way. Put it this way, guys. When me and my friends were getting them at the whatever the hell it was called place where they were giving those out, we had a bunch of them. We could only buy these fucking dime store whistles with them.
Oh,
so you have to do what Nelson did.
Yeah, holy shit! Where he takes the screwdriver and opens it up and goes, "Hey, you're cheating." While he's doing it.
Yeah,
yeah. That's funny.
But funny you mentioned those whistles, K-Gods.
Oh no!
When I got into the prize section, I didn't really see anything I was really interested in that I could afford with these tickets. But then I saw the kazoos, and I looked over and I got 3 kazoos, predicated on how many kazoos I could fit in my mouth at the same time. So and the first thing I said walking out of that store is, I'm gonna be so fucking annoying with these kazoos.
That's basically what we did when we had the whistles. We were playing air hockey, which anybody who's in one of these things likes playing air hockey. I think it was Derek and Amos that were doing it, or no, it was actually, I think it was Derek and Tim. It doesn't matter who was who, but me and Amos were on the sides, and every time somebody would score a goal, we'd be sitting there annoyingly yelling in these fucking whistles, like to the point where people that were playing Time Crisis were turning around and being like, "What the fuck?" They had to think we were fucking roasted or drunk or something. It was great. You know what the best part about that entire trip journey is? Not only was this before the con, which that should tell you how much fun it was a couple years ago, but they had go-karts, but they were down.
Oh,
it's a good thing those fuckers were down too, because we would have done it. We would have. We'd have been, because they have that set up bumper cars and shit.
Real life Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this would be
at each other.
Yeah, because everything is basically using tires as a track. A bunch of tires.
Right.
I guess so. If you hit it, you'll just kind of
putting each other in the wall.
Yeah. So you're not a hashtag jackassing it. But yeah. So I was like, it's a good thing these things were closed for the season, because we'd have been in them. It's guaranteed. It's like, yeah, we'll eat something, get a drink, and it's like, then let's go on the go-karts. Why? Because they're there.
Okay.
Ooh. Which, by the way, this place also had miniature golf. I believe. No. Which, if you know anything about me, this is bad, because I actually like to play it. I'm not very good at it, but I like to play it. Basically, how are you a Street Fighter?
Yeah, exactly. So they had an all right arcade there. There are some games I would have liked to see that I did not see, namely Virtual On,
Galgun.
But But it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I could see that. Was there any kind of no real stories of any kind of obnoxious shenanigans or?
No, not really.
Wow, that's a first. There usually is at least one dumb thing, you know.
Wasn't that kind of COD? It was a lot more laid back, and most people were just walking around buying stuff.
In any case, yeah, that sounds like fun. There's a couple of them that come through here, including I think it's a Dragon Con or something like that.
Oh, Dragon Cons around your area?
I think we do get one. Yeah,
I've heard of Dragon Con
and shit like that.
It might be a different Dragon Con that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I've just heard it and seen it kind of advertised. For all I know, it could actually be about dragons. You know what I mean? It could just might just be a thing where people show up and trade cards or some shit. I don't know. I've never been there.
Or was it like my dragon spirit?
Yeah.
Otherkin.
Oh no! Don't.
Well, hang on, because research is necessary because we don't want to end up like Dragon Con might be a furry convention. We don't know.
Pretty sure it's not, just for the fact that it's been around for a while, and furry cons I think are relatively new. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I've never really investigated that element of this or anything. It's not like, I wonder what kind of people dressed in furry costumes are doing today. This must be a Weekend at Bernie's scenario.
Okay, so here's something that I want, and I feel like this is the right environment to ask this. Because, okay, so backstory. I got sniped at the convention by the Geeky Panda.
Okay.
He caught me slipping. So there was one of the booths we were at, and they had some Dreamcast games. And I was looking at it, and I was looking at, okay, Phantasy Star Online version 2.0. So this came out for the Dreamcast a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dubious about it, so I put it back. The Geeky Panda picked it up. So I've been upset for a week about this. But my thing is, and it's not like I haven't played Phantasy Star Online. They have a private server going for the PC version. I've been on that for a while. But I've never actually gone too far in the Phantasy Star franchise outside of like 2 titles, and both those are in the online universe. And I understand there's a separation between the online stuff and the older JRPGs. So I'm curious about that franchise. I'm wondering if either of you can tell me anything about it.
Play 2 and 4.
Yeah, because the first one's for the Master System, of course.
Naturally.
And it's an okay game for what it is, but it's probably, I don't know, unless you're a big fan of the Master System, I don't really see too many people getting happy with that. But 2...
Am I going to miss anything in the story of 2 if I skip 1?
A little bit. You might have to do a primer first if you don't want to get too lost.
See, the fourth one was my first introduction to it, by the way.
Yeah, which means you missed all the references.
No, but I eventually learned what some of the...
Well, yeah, but I'm saying why you played it. You really didn't have the background to see it as you were playing it.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Okay, but 2 is really good. It's slow though. I mean, it really is slow.
Yeah, that I remember even back when I was like, wow, the walking cycle.
Well, that's not even, if you look at it, it's really not any slower than most games of that nature. I mean, really. I mean, some of them have like run options after that, but whatever. Anyway, it is slow paced and it's definitely hard. Phantasy Star 2 is definitely one of your harder JRPGs for sure. It's difficult. It's hard to explain easily why it's difficult, but the battle strategies are a lot less forgiving, I guess.
So it's going to challenge me. Is it at least fair?
No.
Okay.
No, there's some
right.
there's situations that can ambush you and kill you before you even get a move.
I love that battle music though.
Oh yeah, the battle music's pretty sweet. For sure. No, I would not say it's fair. There's certain parts that if you're ambushed by a group of enemies, you're dead. You're just dead. There's nothing you can do. It's happened to me before, so I can say that for experience. Like if you're up on the towers, like toward, I think it's in Nito or whatever, and like a group of blasters descends upon you, and you're poorly equipped or anything, like you're fucked.
And 3 was like a alternate.
3 it sort of ties in if you really pay attention, but it can be safely skipped, and it's technically developed not by Sega, if I'm mistaken. It's a totally different development team.
That's why I felt so different. Okay.
Yeah, and the music sucks. It's not very good.
Also, the battle system.
Yeah, it's kind of wonky, to be honest. It's one of those things that could have been a much better game if someone that actually was competent knew what the fuck they were doing with the programming. And of course, the last one, which is only called 4, I think, in the US. I think it's just called Phantasy Star End of the Millennium in Japan. But it is the last one, and it's definitely the best one, for sure. At least in terms of visual presentation and how ease of play and all that. But they're worth playing if you like that sort of stuff. It's tricky, and I really, really recommend you get a map if you play the second one. Let's just say that. You will need it. Because those dungeons are very long, winding, and let's just say getting lost when you're running low on supplies is not in your favor.
See, I get that, but part of me won't allow me to do that. Like there's a part, and I've never been the JRPG guy.
No, that's me.
At any point in time.
I've only played a few certain ones. I haven't played as much as I've
played pretty much all your important ones. Yeah.
I could probably count the number of JRPGs I've really, really, really gotten into on one hand. So I'm really not the JRPG guy, but me that will not allow me to use any sort of assists in that way when playing any of these games.
Oh, you will be you will be tormented playing Phantasy Star 2.
Like, unless it's been years, and like Dark Savior is one for the Sega Saturn that I wasn't as into it as a kid, but like more recently I've been more interested in playing it again. I'm not even sure where my copy is at this point.
There's a couple of ones that I would love to have tried, like Shining Wisdom. That's it. Shining Wisdom on the Sega Saturn. Because I love that cover. Love the cover for that, at least.
I played a little bit of the Shining series.
Well, the thing is the modern ones aren't really like the old ones.
Also, there was another Saturn. I mean, no, Sega CD. Oh shit! Now, I want to look it up.
Well, while you're doing that though, the Shining franchise. There's Shining in the Darkness, and that's kind of like a dungeon crawler. I like those, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, and plus there's Langrisser.
Yes, that game rules, by the way.
That's one I would have liked to try.
It's very good. The thing is if you're not into tactical simulators, like Final Fantasy Tactics or things like that, it's more in that kind of realm.
Basically, that's
the kind of game I actually.
You will love Langrisser, trust me.
Because like Shining Force and Shining Force 2 are a couple of games I really got into.
Well, then you will absolutely love Langrisser because it's like that, except you control armies.
Oh.
Okay. This is it, Vey.
Oh yeah, I remember Vey. That's one of those ones I didn't really get a whole lot of time to play, but I kind of remember it.
That like even though I never played it, but back that like just the aesthetic of mecha and like but in like a in a medieval looking JRPG setting. And
Right,
Mecha looks very like Tekken Blade.
As far as JRPGs go, I'll just give you the main three that'll cause you headaches right off the bat. And unfortunately, one of them is Phantasy Star 2 because it is difficult. Dragon Quest or Warrior 2 and Breath of Fire 2. So all twos. Now that I'm thinking about it. Those are always ones that had kind of a more difficult, not even learning curve. It's just that they're not in the player's favor.
I have a little bit of experience with the Breath of Fire franchise because I've watched friends
Those are
play
good.
Breath of Fire 3 and Breath of Fire 4.
3 is my favorite. 2 is it's good. It's just that's kind of first off, our translation of it sucks. It was very poorly translated.
What about Super Mario RPG?
That's a good game.
Yeah, I know interested in that. I'm
It is a good
100% convinced it's a good game. And
It is.
I've heard
That's
I've heard
actually one of the ones they put on the SNES Mini.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
good
they got
choice
Final
in that aspect.
Well, they got Final Fantasy 6, so it's automatically awesome. So.
Yeah.
Okay, they call it 3 because that's what it was released. Here.
Oh, and something Secret of Mana, is that it?
Yeah, Secret of Mana, or as it was called, Seiken Densetsu 2.
Right, and Earthbound or Mother 2.
Yes,
Yep.
Right. Which again, these are all really good games. Anybody who's into these sort of things should have already.
What
played
was the
them.
thing like the guy, like there's a monster or something in it, and it was because the guy saw a supposed rape scene while walking in the wrong way.
Oh yeah, that was Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the creator, Ito, I think is his name, Shigeru Ito or something like that. I'm gonna have to look that up because that's gonna bother me now. But yeah, he walked into this weird thing, and the main like antagonist of the game is supposed to be. It's hard to explain if you can't physically see it. No, it's Itoi, not Ito. My bad. It's Shigesato Itoi. Okay, something like that. Anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, it's like this alien thing, and when you actually see it, it's just like kind of this blurring kind of weird thing, and it's supposed to be kind of abstract as a concept. It's interesting. Again, I'm not doing it very much justice here. Plus, it's just an interesting game and franchise in general. It's most people know it because of the giant box art,
Right.
Which I'm no different. I have a copy of it. And it came with like. Go ahead.
One JRPG franchise I did get into was the Lunar series.
Oh yeah. Right.
I know about that. I never played it, but I know of.
Right. Right. I got the PlayStation versions of it way back.
Yeah, I've got both of them right here.
Yeah, Silver Star Story and Eternal Blue.
And Eternal Blue.
Yep. And again, my interest in those was kind of around the same time, anime and whatnot. Yeah. I'd always seen because there was a Sega Saturn version of it, wasn't there?
A Sega CD, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, that's right. My mistake. Yeah, because it was kind of redone, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they took the Sega CD version and kind of retooled it and upgraded it for the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And plus, it came with a bunch of shit. All this that's the thing that a lot of these JRPGs and stuff used to come with all these really big like maps and stuff.
Yep.
Like world maps, even guidebooks and things like that. So, again, not really something you see a lot anymore, at least to my knowledge. I'm
not so much in JRPGs, I don't think, but like a lot of games a lot of game franchises now come out with art books eventually, and like maps and pre-order bonuses and pre-order and stuff like that. Like if you pre-order it from here, you get this, that, and the other thing.
Pre-order now and get this select skin of get this such and such.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like oh, what the hell is that show called? I don't know. It's like Najika, how you could get those panties, which I still find was well. I wonder how many of those they actually had, because obviously I didn't get them, even though I actually do have it. So I guess they ran out after a while.
It's probably a limited,
like a first
thing.
like the first press or something, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. So sounds like you had a lot of fun. I've not I haven't been to a gaming convention, not because I don't like that sort of thing. Hell, even if you do like that sort of thing, if you go to anime conventions, there usually are gaming panels too.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, I went to did I tell you I went to a 3.5-hour Zelda one?
Wow.
And by the end of it, I wanted to kill myself.
That's longer than I've spent playing any Zelda game at all. That's much longer than I spent.
Somebody's going to ask, why didn't you just leave? I was tired. And I was trapped by these guys in these fucking goofy ass masks. And I'm just like, will anyone, Ganon, please find me and kill me? Though one thing I've always loved from the Zelda franchise, and again, it's something only the U.S. people from the U.S. will probably understand, because I don't think it was even in the Japanese version of Adventure of Link, is when you died, it would say Game Over, Return of Ganon, and it had this like creepy like laugh. And you heard it a lot too, because that game was hard.
The Zelda cartoon is canon. Link's hair is brown.
Stop it.
I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying to stop repeating it. Interestingly enough, I think it was that game that actually caused a bit of a controversy, because like if you died, the screen went all crazy and shit, and it caused some people over here to have epileptic like spasms in response to it.
Lovely.
So if you look at the new versions that are on like the Wii console, they actually made it not do that, which that kind of made me laugh. Not because I think having epilepsy is funny or anything. Although I do have to admit, I did laugh when it happened to that jackass Kurt. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay. No, he was the hentai guy. The dude who was caught looking at hentai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's also apparently has epilepsy or something. Because remember, somebody sent a thing to him, and his wife said he was convulsing on the ground or some shit.
I know what you're talking about now.
At which point I was just like, well, why is he even allowed on the internet alone if he's going to be doing that shit? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing a piece of it here. In any case, that is the only thing I could think of, like an epileptic thing I could think of anytime recently. So anyway, that used to be a problem with some old video games. That's not the only one, but that's since we were talking about it.
Right. And now a lot of games have that warning in the beginning now.
Yeah.
If you have ever suffered from epileptic seizures, consult your doctor before playing the game or whatever.
Yeah, and I got this visual of somebody like, I'll be okay. And then like the next scene, you see them like convulsing on their bed,
yeah, exactly.
like they're foaming at the mouth, and they can't call a doctor because they can't get to a phone. Like, I'm like, well, a lot of good that did. But no, they used to have those in the instruction booklets about, the proper distance to sit from the television and all that kind of shit. Like, oh, if you start like having seizures and stuff, to stop playing. It's like, no, you're gonna keep playing.
Like if you look at a lot of like not older, but sort of older anime, they'll have that thing in the beginning of the thing. Make sure you sit in a well lit room and sit away from the television.
Which none of us do. I don't think any of us sit away from the television that far.
I deliberately turn the lights off and I watch on a computer, so I'm this far away from the screen.
Yeah, so sorry, we're not taking your advice, obviously. Which is probably why a lot of this bad shit has happened to us health-wise.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Though, so I'm back on the subject of JRPGs. I did pick up a while ago. So they came out with this release for the PS2 called Growlancer Generations. And it's Growlancer 2 and Growlancer 3 in one package.
Didn't Urushihara do the art for that too?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have the exact reason I picked it up.
I have an art book from that franchise. Yeah, it is from that. Yeah, because I was just collecting his art, so I would just see it and be like, okay, grab. I'd never actually played the games or anything.
I 100% picked it up based on the art style and was not disappointed in the gameplay. It actually has a really unique and interesting combat system.
Okay.
Where it's sort of like a tactical RPG, except there's no grid. You just move around freely. Like there's no grid. There's sort of a turn system, but kind of not really. It's difficult to explain, but it's very, very well executed.
Right. Which one was it?
This is Growlancer 2 and Growlancer 3. I haven't actually played Growlancer 3, but I doubt they've picked.
Okay, so
PS2 games. Combat system. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. All right. I was just looking at some of the art and some of the visual. Yeah, tactical RPGs. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
Here's one I've played for the Genesis back. Arcus Odyssey, but it's not. It's a role playing and action game, so it's not full. It's not a full RPG. It's more like a action game with RPG elements.
It's an action RPG.
Yeah. Like it's more like there's stages than leveling up your character.
I love some of these characters' names. I guess I haven't really paid much attention. Wine Cruz, Maximilian Schneider.
Yeah.
Hans Burnt or Bjernt. Charlone Claudius, Zenos Langley. Again, I'm probably fucking some of these up. Riviera Marius. I'm just looking at Brett Varner. I almost said Brett Favre. You know the football player. And like, what the fuck is he doing in here? Yeah, but there seems to be a lot of Germanic kind of names here.
Yeah.
Which again, I haven't actually played this, so I wouldn't know. Does it kind of have that? Does it take place in that sort of area?
That sort of environment? Not really.
Oh, that's how you pronounce this? You know the one Wise, but it's pronounced Sue.
Wise. Sue. What?
Oh, wait. How do you pronounce it?
What are you talking about?
No, I see. No, there's a dash over the I. Eyes. That's how you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Y-S.
Oh, that game. Okay.
I always pronounce that as ease.
That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, as in easy. Dun dun dun. No. I remember those games. I never really played them, but I do remember them. I don't think we got a lot of those, did we?
1 and 2 came out for TurboGrafx CD.
Okay, that explains why we probably didn't make much more of a splash.
3 came out on SNES, Genesis, TurboGrafx 16.
The best thing is the 5th one was a porn game.
We're just gonna go to porn. We're just gonna go to porn.
Like people don't believe me on that. I mean, really, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I guess they just don't believe that they would go that route. I think it was. Let me look real quick.
It doesn't look like it's the 5th one because they.
Okay, well maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn they did something like that. Maybe I'm just remembering something wrong. Because I remember reading something about that. Huh. Well, maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Very possible. But I could have sworn it was from this. Well, maybe not. In any case, nah, I'm not seeing it. Maybe I was thinking of a different game. But there was definitely one of these games like this. For some reason, I thought it was Ease, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. It came out in the first one came out also on the Master System.
Right.
So.
Right. Which again explains pretty much why it didn't really do a whole lot in terms of what the hell. I'm clearly there's a game and I can't think of what it was that they did that with. And I could have sworn it was Ease, but I guess maybe it was something else. I'm trying to, it had anime-esque art.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Again, not the JRPG guy.
Yeah, that's going to piss me off because it's one of those, again, one of those games where it wasn't very popular to begin with.
Now I'm looking for listed JRPGs.
Yeah.
Franchises.
Anyway, maybe we'll put something in the show notes if we figure it out.
Yeah. Mario RPG.
Just because.
So I mentioned this game Dark Savior for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
And so it's an isometric game. It's really more of an action RPG than anything else. And realistically, it's barely an RPG. Like, it barely counts. It has some elements of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird game. Like, it's not like it doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. And this might just be me as a kid playing this video game, but it really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So it operates off of this system where, based on how fast you beat the first level, you end up on different tracks. So, and I never actually beat the level in any way that put me on a different track except for the default one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go through this, and what happens is you go through this default track, and there's two characters on the box of this game. A male that you play as and a female character. And I've only ever seen the female character just die. Because if you proceed on the default track, she shows up, and you see her show up in a short cutscene that lasts 3 seconds, where she appears on the screen, looks around, and runs off. And then the next time you see her, she's hanging over this vat of green goo, and you try and save her, and she doesn't want to be saved, and she just falls in the vat, and she dies.
Lovely.
And I'm like, why are we putting this character on the cover if all she's going to do is get killed? And it would be years later when I figured out, hey, if you beat the first level in an impossibly short length of time, you'll actually probably see this character do quite a bit more. And it's actually really, really interesting the way they execute this, because there's like the last one, it turns out there's a dark version of the main character and he's running around. It's an odd game.
K-Gods, you weren't thinking of Dragon Knight, were you?
No. That I wouldn't have forgot that. No, that actually isn't what I was thinking of.
All right.
But that bothers me, though, just if nothing else, because the name is just somewhere floating around in my gray matter. And it just isn't coming to me. If I saw pictures of it, maybe it would, or something like that, but just not seeing it yet. Kind of bothers me, to be completely honest with you. Because it was one of those things that I thought was really kind of funny. And yeah. No, not that. I could have sworn there was I know it started. The main character was a girl, and I can't for the life of me think of what it was called now. Blue hair, I remember that. And it just isn't coming to mind, and that I wish it was, because that's bothering me considerably. If somebody said the name, it'd probably ring a bell, but I actually thought it was Ease, so I guess it's not.
So, off of the subject of JRPGs, that I brought over one of my other Sega Saturn games, and this is because I just purely want to talk about this game because more people need to know about it. Called Gen War, and the whole conceit of this game is you're in this powered exosuit running around shooting aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a first-person shooter, but before the advent of the proper FPS controls.
Right.
But
how do you spell it?
GHEN space WAR, Gen War.
Don't think I've ever even heard of it.
No, I haven't heard of that one either.
Or it's not ringing a bell, at least.
It's such a cool game, and they do a lot of stuff in this game that you wouldn't see in games for several years afterwards. Like, they've got this dynamic music system where when you're just walking around on the planet, it's playing this sort of ambient background noise. You see like the wind blowing, and there's like a low kind of low key sort of guitar going on. But then when you encounter some enemies and you start shooting, it ramps up into this power rock soundtrack.
Okay.
And it does that seamlessly. What happens is there's really two tracks on different channels, and it'll fade in and out between each channel based on what's happening in the game.
Okay. Well, what's interesting about that is Phantasy Star 3 kind of did that with the music too, but kind of handled it poorly. Because it would happen during the battle itself.
Oh.
Which, like, when certain things happen, and it just kind of came across as clumsy, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible idea. It just, I think it was executed kind of poorly.
So
and I swear this is going to piss me off.
And it did deforming terrain. So you could shoot the terrain, and it would actually crater. Like, you could... Given enough time, you could shoot your way through a mountain if you wanted to.
How come this?
You wouldn't see.
How come the Saturn did so much better in Japan?
There was, I know one element of it was the president of Sega of America at the time just purely didn't bring over a whole lot of games that came out for the Saturn that were really good. Also, I feel like the PlayStation sort of appealed more to that, and also there was the element that Sega had just a couple years ago come out with the Sega CD, and they were seen as like they're abandoning that platform for the Saturn
and 32 as well, 32X.
And the 32X, and they had people interpreted that as they had abandoned that platform.
Yeah, I read it, the lack of a Sonic game for those, but still, I mean, I think
there also wasn't really a core Sonic game for the Saturn.
And I also think that part of the problem was the more Japanese the game was, the less likely they were to bring it over here.
Yeah, oddly enough, the last game to come out here for that was Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Yeah, of all things.
Which was also an RPG.
But
there you go.
Though, speaking of Sonic games for the Saturn, Sonic 3D Blast, and people shit on Sonic 3D Blast, but there's a sort of charm to it that I really...
Depends on which version of it you're playing, I think.
It really depends on which version you're playing it. Saturn's the best version, hands down.
The Sega version was just handled kind of poorly, I believe.
It was okay, but the Saturn version is really the peak of Sonic 3D Blast. Because it's got the gameplay's tight, it has all the features in it, and it has the best special stage, which is basically the Sonic 2 special stage rendered in full 3D without tails.
Oh wow, there was
without tails.
There was gonna be an Evangelion game on the Saturn.
Yeah, I remember.
There actually was one for the N64.
That one I played that one.
Yep.
At a con.
Which is it any good, or did they blow it like Superman?
That was actually pretty decent.
And we didn't get it, so you wouldn't know, unless you like played a. No,
I played it. Someone brought the cartridge at a con.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I'm saying. Unless you had like an emulator or something.
I fought against Rymeel.
Mm-hmm. Which I can never remember their names. I just remember them by their shape or what they're doing.
I remember their names up to a certain point.
But then it's just kind of like, nope.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of look through this thing because again, I'm not letting this go because this is actually legitimately bothering me.
That's fun. That's cool. I like to know too. Oh look, Sonic R. I'm looking at a list of Saturn games.
Hate on Sonic R all you like.
I love that. I love the song music in that.
The sound. Can you believe people hate on the Sonic R?
Sunshine.
Like I can't like I've met people who don't like the Sonic R soundtrack, and I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Also, I posted a picture in the chat. Amazing. I want you to look at Shining Wizard, the Shining Wisdom cover.
Disliking the Sonic. Disliking a Sonic game soundtrack is a lot like disliking a Castlevania soundtrack.
Yeah. There's like, only one soundtrack for a Sonic game that I've heard was bad, and that was incidentally that was one not developed by Sonic Team. It was developed by BioWare.
There you go.
Yes, the BioWare that made Mass Effect and Dragon Age made a Sonic game.
This doesn't sound like a very good idea.
But even if the Sonic game is bad, the soundtrack's going to be good. Like Sonic 06 was terrible, but had a great soundtrack.
That's one. Like I said, the same thing's true pretty much with most. I would say Mega Man games, but some of them are kind of stinky in the soundtrack department. But I don't think I've ever played a Castlevania game that's got a bad soundtrack.
How many Virtual Fighter games were on the Saturn? 2?
There was Fighter 2 came out on the Saturn. There was also Virtual Fighter Remix, which is kind of a redoing of Virtual Fighter 1. And then there was Virtual Fighter Kids. It came out on the Saturn.
Not Virtual Fighter.
Virtual Fighter.
I meant Virtual On. Virtual On. Yeah.
Technically, I think it was 2 versions. Not counting the difference between the Japanese and American version, but at least in Japan, there was the regular version, and then there was the NetLink version. Which, if you want to understand how ahead of the curve Sega was, Sega Saturn had internet capabilities.
I got it. I know what game it was now.
What
franchise? Valis.
That's it. Yes.
Okay, I was thinking I'm getting pissed now because it's like I know there was a game where they ended up going, okay, well the 5th one's gonna be porn, and then like some people were just like, eh. Even though the rest of them were not, So it's just kind of because I remember seeing somebody playing. I just couldn't think of the name. I was like, it's like why? I know why. I was thinking because it started with Y and it was actually a V. There you go. That's why I couldn't remember. Okay, and
to answer your question, there were 2 Virtual On games on the Sega Saturn.
Oh, so the 2 that you got was the 2 that you got was Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, Virtual Fighter 2.
Yeah, my brain was confused. Did you ever see the one that was they did a version of Virtual Fighter 2 for the Genesis where they just made it sprite based?
Yeah. I think I own that. I think I own that on like Steam or something.
And they also did one for the Game Gear where it was based on the anime.
Yeah.
From what I can say, it doesn't really even look like they even got that done. I can't seem to find much about it.
Oh, there's one for you, Anubis. Wait, that didn't come out? Cyberbots? That says unreleased.
Okay, here it is. Okay,
Hearing about
it was the
cyberbots.
5th installment, but it was supposed to be it was the
cyberbots.
5th installment, but it was supposed to be called Valis X or Valis 10.
All right.
It was an erotic visual novel they used to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the series. It was divided into 5 episodes that retell the stories of the first 4 games, containing copious amounts of lesbian acts and tentacle sex, which means you should get it if you are a fan of that, because why not? Unfortunately, I am not very okay. This is probably why. Original game was developed for the MSX.
Okay.
Yeah, and remakes across several platforms, notably the TurboGrafx 16, Sega Mega Drive. Which did we even get those? I don't think we did.
A Mega Drive. Technically,
no.
we got the Genesis, which is the same thing.
Right. No, but I'm saying, did we get these games? I don't think we did. I think they were too anime-ish. Which they're not kind of anime-ish. They are anime, pretty much.
Let me see.
Oh, well, maybe there was.
Well, no, both Zillion games came out for the Sega Master System here.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, but you're saying two anime. Well, that was anime.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that these things really were very peculiar with how they came out here.
I understand that. No, I'm trying to see. Well, Mega Drive one came out here, but I don't see the first one.
The second one came out on the Genesis as Seed of Valis.
All right, question from the IRC. How do you spell that?
Spell what? Which one? Valis?
Valis. Yeah.
Valis.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is what I was thinking of. I don't know why I got on board with Ease. That's a totally different fucking game. Maybe it's because I thought it started with a Y and it actually starts with a V. My bad. I've had a long day. Cut me some slack. So what else does it have to say about it? Anything interesting? I know there's the 4th one on the SNES. Yeah, it came out. The 3rd one came out on the Genesis in 1991. So, and
that's an awesome cover, by the way. The one I see for the PC Engine here.
Right. Oh, look how they look at the 4th one, Super Valis 4. Look how they fucked up the art.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
They did the same thing they did to the original Phantasy Star 2.
Well, yeah, Western style art.
Yeah, it looks completely out of place.
This is going to sound weird, but looking at this cover for Valis 4, I am reminded of an old Atari Jaguar game. Called Trevor.
Yes.
No, you laugh now. Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy.
Yes, I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure that's the first shmup I ever played.
You know what this actually looks like to me?
I wasn't good at it, but
yeah, I'd like cat people.
Doesn't this?
Yes, exactly.
Don't these covers that they kind of put on where the anime covers normally would be, like specifically if they were Genesis games like that? Don't they look more like kind of like your dime store or your kind of generic swords and sorcery covers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like mid-level fantasy novels.
It's not good enough to be like Conan the Barbarian or something like that. It's like or
I got
whatever.
I got a great one for you.
If you look in the IRC at Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy, this looks exactly like a welfare mid-level furry sci-fi novel.
No, wait, I got a great one for you guys. All right, there was this game called Gaiden.
I've heard of that.
A shooter. This is the Japanese cover. All right.
Okay, let's check out the comparison here.
All right. I gotta find the
And these links are in the chat.
Yeah, I gotta find the atrocious US cover for this one.
Yeah, and this original
nice.
This original cover looks like something like Outlanders, or which somebody listening is like, "What the fuck's Outlanders?"
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I have porn by that guy. I assume it's a guy. But when I saw Hindane and I was kind of just dicking around, looking through his stuff.
God, that's hard.
And we got talking about Outlander somehow, and he's like, "Oh, I actually have something created by the actual author of that."
Ha!
Get ready for the horrid U.S. art.
Okay, let's check this shit out. What the fuck? What even is this?
What up, Skeletor?
Yeah, you wish you were Skeletor.
Yeah, that's the thing. These characters in the game they're kind of like it's like a Grim Reaper look, but it's a robot.
This looks absolutely. You know what this looks like? It looks like a really bad. It looks like one of those. What the fuck are those called? It almost looks like an unlicensed NES game.
Yeah, kind of.
Where they have like those Bible games, where they have like these really low grade covers.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. It almost looks like, hey, we kind of want to be Warhammer, 40K or whatever.
Actually, no, it reminds me of. You ever see the drawing that they did for the U.S. release of Nausicaa when it was it Warriors of the Wind?
No, and mercifully so far.
Oh, you're in for a lovely treat. Now
I don't think anything's makes me wince harder than that first Mega Man cover we got.
No, wait.
Or what was that? VZ, what was that shmup where the cover we got was some old guy?
Oh, that's Phalanx. That's Phalanx for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, there's like, okay, we need a way to. Yeah, it's an old guy playing a banjo. It has nothing to do with the game, but they figured.
Wait. I think my brain just broke.
This isn't. By the way, this isn't a joke. I'm about to link this up in the IRC.
It was a way to get it, the attention. It's like, what? Old guy but you're still talking about it 20 years later.
Wait, what the fuck?
You're looking at Phalanx, aren't you?
Yeah, but like it says the the tagline for it is the hyperspeed shootout in space, and it's just some old dude playing a fucking banjo.
Yeah, I'm as confused as you are.
Like, what did the guy put a selfie on there because he thought the game was cool or something? What? I don't. Yeah, that's pretty weird because these other things are bad, but they're bad in the way that it's like, oh, this looks like some kind of like I have a high concept but can't actually do it.
All right, you ready? You ready for this one? Now I kind of like this in a weird because it's 80s, but it's inappropriate for what it actually is supposed to be.
What is this even?
The U.S. release of Nausicaa in the 80s.
This looks like someone's.
Yeah,
dude. This looks
no, guys. I know what this is. This is like a ripoff of Tremors.
See, I was gonna say this looks like a lower mid-level sci-fi author saw like Red Dune and said, "Yeah, I could do that."
Yeah, no, you can't. No, like if you ever seen Tremors, you'll know what I mean by that. Because it's like this vagina mouth thing coming out of the with these guys standing on it, and the one dude's holding a fucking like automatic rifle or some shit, standing on it. There's like a Pegasus and some fucking really weird glider surf thing with some chick in inappropriate clothing on it.
Well, again, it's supposed to be the caterpillar thing, but again, they just the way that they decide to draw everything.
Yeah, what in the fuckity fuck is this? I see what you mean by the Dune reference, though.
Phalanx.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. I need. Here's what I need from you guys, because apparently what I'm really gonna do is just get into a whole bunch of genres and games that are gonna make me feel really bad about myself and my own skill in these video games. So what I need is recommendations for shmups specifically.
Okay,
that's
I'm not good at them.
That's not my territory, unfortunately.
I'll
VZ, I'll ask you for recommendations for shmups. K-Gods, after I get these shmup recommendations, I need some JRPG recommendations.
Alrighty, sure.
Because apparently, if I'm gonna get into these two genres that are gonna kill me, then I might as well play the best games in the genre that are going to make me feel terrible about my skill at video
Or
games.
the ones that at least
I mean, I could throw a couple of shmups out there, but it's just like they'll probably be old.
Well, of course, but and to put it in perspective, shmups I've played from like the Dreamcast era and back. I've played Border Down. I've played Ikaruga. I know I want to play Radiant Silvergun at some point. I've played, I think, Radius 2.
That one wasn't that one for like the PC.
Either Radius 2 or 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've played Super R-Type, and I think I've played either R-Type 2 or R-Type 3.
Super R-Type was really just a version of R-Type 2. And the arcade version looks a lot better because it had better frame rate.
Naturally.
Also, they cut out some levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you want some recommendations.
Yep.
There's, let's see, Life Force for the NES, but there's a version on the Saturn, the Japanese Saturn.
Ooh.
The Japanese Saturn that has the original and 2 on it, and 2 looks amazing.
Okay, so I know a tiny bit about Life Force.
Well, first off, we have to look for the Japanese name, Salamander.
Salamander. Completely predicated on the fact that I've played Ultimedius Excellent.
Mm.
And that's sort of
which, by the way, Life Force,
an entire homage to the Gradius franchise and all that.
Right, and Life Force is the original one. Always struck me as sort of in the same vein. It's even got the same sort of.
It's a side version.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Konami. It's
Konami. That's the other big thing.
Also, Also, weirdly enough, got an OVA series in the 80s.
That's pretty strange.
Yeah. With Haruhiko Mikimoto as the character designer.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to be one of the toughest shooters you will ever play. And it's one I rented back in the day, but it's tough as fuck, but I love the visual presentation. Abadox.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the name. I just never played it.
It is it's one of the toughest ones. It's like you need all your power-ups.
Gradius is like that too, though. If the original one, if you die in a bad spot, you're never going to recover.
I could only get up to not even like half of the second stage, and there's 6 stages.
Same with Gradius.
Just to illustrate how bad I am at this genre, I've never finished a shmup game. Ever. Not Sylphie the Lost Planet, not Ultimedius Excellent, none of them.
Here's the only ones I ever finished. Space Harrier on the Game Gear, which is very different from the arcade. But I still have nostalgia for that one. And Space Harrier 2 for the Genesis, which is really easy. Compared to the arcade version, which was ported to the 32X and the Saturn. Those are much tougher.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so and I'm gonna limit the recommendations to 5, just so we're not here forever. So you got 2.
Okay, so we'll go. Well, we'll go with definitely Space Harrier. We'll still Space Harrier and Abadox. Those are 2. All right.
Mm-hmm. Life Force, Space Harrier, Abadox. We'll do one more if it's not gonna take too long.
Okay. In Japan it's called Thunder Force 4. Here we got the weird name, not Lightning Force, Lightning Force. Like you're lightning the room.
Lightning Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay, and that's one I've heard of as well.
All right.
Mostly through the soundtrack.
Darius Twin for the Super Nintendo. That's one of the best for.
I was gonna jokingly jump in and start naming things like Space Invaders and Defender and shit.
That's a little too early for what?
Yeah, I figured, or Asteroids or something. Yeah,
and I've already played all of those in some.
I figured you had.
I love the enemy designs of Darius because they're all based on sea creatures.
I remember they had that freaking that Figma.
Yeah, with fish. It came out with a new
$100-something Figma of this fish thing.
I actually got a few more for the Super. Well, I actually got 2 more for the Super Nintendo.
Okay. Now I have some questions. Real quick. Do they have to be in a plane or a spaceship, or can it be like more run and gun kind of stuff?
Well, considering I had mentioned Space Harrier, it could be,
yes, Space Harrier.
No, we're not talking about No, we're talking about like moving around an enemy, like basically like it's the screen is moving on its own.
A scrolling shooter.
Scrolling.
Okay.
What I prefer to call them, but nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say that. So it's
I get
a scrolling shooter.
Okay, yeah, because technically stuff like Contra and stuff would qualify.
Yeah, I was about to say Contra.
Which you should play that anyway, just because it's fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's run and gun.
Yeah. I like those too.
Gradius 3.
Yeah, the SNES game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this. It looks really nice.
This has been ported so many times on a bunch of systems, but I really like the SNES version of Gaiden because of the music. The first stage theme sounds the best on that. Gaiden Trad for some they added the Tread. Namco on the end for some reason. But I really like.
I actually played a version of. It was several ABs ago. I actually played Gaiden on the Atari Jaguar.
One more.
I don't remember which one it was. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there, and it's really the only one that hasn't been mentioned yet that I actually know I can throw out there, and you're gonna laugh as soon as I do. Zero Wing.
That's another one. Yeah, that one's actually really that's a good one for a newbie-ish. Because
it's basically a Gradius ripoff.
It'll build me up before every other.
And plus, you'll get to laugh at the really bad dialogue.
Yeah, I'm saying it'll build me up before every other title in this list breaks me.
It's not as
turns you over, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna recommend Truxton or Tatsujin in Japan, which I love what it translates to. What Tatsujin means, basically expert.
Yeah.
You want a shooter, expert. I really like that one a lot for the Genesis.
Okay, Anubis. Right. Is there any particular console or whatever you want for when I name some of these JRPGs?
Well, I can emulate basically everything previous to the Saturn generation.
Okay, so it don't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I can't emulate CD based things on mine. I can only do cards.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll probably stay away from the really fucking obnoxiously hard ones. Which means stay away from some of the old Dragon Quest games. Also, your patience would probably give out. Let's see. For the Genesis, you've already played the Shining Force games, so you already know those are good. Okay. Try Shining in the Darkness, though. It's related, and it's a dungeon crawler, and it's not nearly as obnoxiously hard as like Wizardry or some of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more. Put it this way: I beat it without a map. Although I don't recommend that.
I think that got an OVA also, Wizardry. All these things they just like. Did you know they made an anime of it?
Which is weird, since that game is actually an American game.
All these games coming out in these old eras that get anime, and there's still no virtual on anime.
Kind of strange there. I highly recommend Langrisser. It was called War Song when it was ported here.
So it had the changed sprites or something? No, not the sprites.
The portraits, they altered them somewhat. Not all of them, but some of them they did. Because they look too anime-ish, which is unfortunate. But you might be able to find a Langrisser, with a patch or something.
Right.
That just keeps everything the way it's supposed to be. Highly recommended. It's right up your alley. I guarantee you would love it. again, because it's a lot like Shining Force, except you're commanding armies.
Oh.
And the AI is pretty merciless, by the way.
Ooh.
So if you want a challenge, it's definitely it's tough, and you can't fuck around. If you screw up too badly, you can get it to where you'll have to start completely over. Because like if you screw up things, waste them too much.
Right.
But that's only if you're stupid, pretty much. Which, you know. The difficulty is unfortunately a little high on that, but it's still worth playing, if nothing else, because the music's awesome. Okay, let's see. We'll go to the SNES era here. Highly recommend Chrono Trigger, especially if you don't mind Akira Toriyama's artwork.
I was just gonna say that.
At all.
It's got a great soundtrack. Same, it's Uematsu from Final Fantasy and another guy whose name I can't remember, but they do a really good job. Who does a really good job. It's not a terribly hard RPG, but it's got a cool concept. It's just insanely fun. And that's going to be that. I also recommend, depending on... I'd almost throw out Earthbound because it's not very hard either. And although that's kind of... What's the right word here? That's definitely an oddball because most RPGs either take place in more medieval settings or something like that.
Yeah.
What about what's the one Breath of Fire?
The original Breath of Fire is pretty cool,
but then they changed the art again on the.
Yeah, who cares about that? He's playing the game. Not.
I know.
Not buying the box.
I'm probably not even gonna own any of the
the
boxes for these games.
So I don't think he cares. No, it's a pretty good game. It's basically Capcom's version of, Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy or whatnot. And they did a pretty good job, I thought. I wouldn't call it top tier, but...
God, that US art is all...
Yeah, it sucks, but who cares?
Yeah.
Nobody played it for that reason.
I know.
Most people didn't even pay attention to it. Let's see. Well, as far as other ones go, I would recommend Xenogears on principle, but that's kind of a long-winded game. It's got fuck tons of text, and
I remember Xenogears.
So I've played the first Xenosaga. So I get that there's sort of some kind of connection going on. So I'm a little bit in that franchise, so I haven't played the Xenogears, but I've heard plenty about it.
Xenogears has the mecha designer for like the enemy suits of like in V Gundam.
Ooh.
And some of the Junya Ishigaki.
Right. Xenogears is actually one of my absolute favorites, but again, it's very long-winded. It's not it's not really, I wouldn't say it's terribly hard, but I mean, a couple parts are, but anyway, it's worth playing more down the line, I think.
See, I would recommend it as a first one because it was really like my first one is Phantasy Star 4, even though it comes after everything else.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it plays really well, and it's also pretty easy.
Yeah, that's
but again, it's one of those things where I don't know. You might want to play at least 2 first. But beyond that, going to PlayStation games. Let's see. I'm sure you've seen Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll skip that one. Okay.
What about 7?
Yeah.
I played 10 minutes of 7. I don't need to play any more of it.
There you go.
We can
like
skip
7.
over the final.
I played, that was the only.
I'm not saying it's a bad game, but again, I'm far from the JRPG dude. And basically, we can skip over the entire Final Fantasy franchise because I know what Final Fantasy games I like. 9 and 9. And that's it.
Okay. Well, anyhow, as far as those kind of games go, Saturn has.
Yeah, Saturn has a lot of JRPGs.
Yeah, they do. They had a ton of them, which is another unfortunate thing we didn't get them.
Yeah, a couple of them did come out.
We only got the first disc of Shining Force 3. and then like they just didn't bother bringing the rest of it. Which
well,
is
I
so
said
cool.
Shining Wisdom.
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, Shining.
No, there is Shining Force 3, and it's a 3-disc game.
Right.
We only got the first disc, so they totally ruined. They totally screwed us over on that.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So beyond that, again, if you're a fan at all of the Metroidvania concepts, obviously Symphony of the Night is the one you want to play. Not a hard game at all. Yeah, a lot of fun. I like fucking around with all the different weapon combos and stuff.
Isn't the PlayStation one better than the Saturn one?
To some people, yeah, but the Saturn version actually has more stuff you can do.
I think you could also play as the girl in that.
Yeah, you can play as Maria. Yeah, basically. Renard, I think is her last name or something like that. Anyway, plus it's got a couple of different extra areas that the PlayStation version didn't have, like the Hell's Garden or whatever the hell it's called.
What is a man but a
Oh gosh, yeah.
pilot of
That's classic. I don't know. Again, it's hard because it's like, well, you've already nixed the Final Fantasy stuff, so
Right.
again, you may or may not like Chrono Trigger. I threw it out there because it's kind of one I think everybody should play at least. Let's see here. PlayStation 1s. You've already played the Lunar games, I'm sure.
Yep.
So, got
Well,
those.
if anyone has licensed, not licensed, but like did a fan translate of the Langrisser that was on PCFX.
I don't know. I mean, I know one or know two.
Which is like because that one has an animated thing with Satoshi Yoshiharu's.
Yeah, I mean, number 3 and 4 and all those are on CD forms, I think, from like a Saturn and PlayStation and that sort of thing. But we didn't ever get them.
Oh, that's it. Der Langrisser FX, PCFX. That's it.
Yeah. Right. So in any case, basically, yeah, I would just go ahead and try look at Langrisser just again for concept. I think you would enjoy it because it takes place kind of in like that sort of. It's not even medieval. It's a little. It strikes me as a little like there's a little bit specifically in Victorian in the design.
Oh, okay.
Like like kind of like the stuff they're wearing and shit.
Yeah, it says here, series has a fantasy dramatic setting.
Yeah, it does. And it's okay. So check that out. Maybe Shining in the Darkness if you like dungeon crawlers. I don't know your talents for those.
Dungeon crawlers are. Oh well, okay. I'm about to have an opinion on dungeon crawlers when I really haven't played any. The only dungeon crawlers I've really played that I've gotten anywhere close to deep into, and this is going to be hilarious, but is the first 2 Lightning Warrior Righty games.
Well, they still count, I think.
Oh, they count. They're also hentai games, but they count.
Right, but yeah, okay. Well, yeah, you get the idea.
Oh yeah, and they're good games. I enjoy that kind of gameplay. I just haven't played very many games in that genre.
Okay, so well then give that a try. It's not terribly hard and it's pretty fun.
Lovely.
Okay, and it's Sega.
That'll bring me up before Phantasy Star 2 breaks me down.
I was gonna say one more. I never played them, but I love the music. Like listening to music for the Etrian Odyssey games.
Speaking of bastardized covers, you got to see what they did for Langrisser when they changed it to War Song.
And that one came out. A new one of those just came out recently. Etrian Odyssey 5 War Song.
Which it's not bad looking. It just looks like it belongs on the cover of
yeah, I see what you're saying.
It looks like it should be on the cover of a novel I would read.
Yeah, exactly.
Not one of these kind of games. In any case, so check that out. I'd go ahead and throw out Chrono Trigger and Earthbound or Mother 2.
Yeah.
And maybe perhaps on the PlayStation or Saturn, I don't know. Again, Xenogears is probably, because I spent well over 100 hours on that.
Jesus.
And plenty of it was reading text. Because it's got a lot of text. Very cool, mind you. But I don't know. That's not something I would just throw on somebody who's not really already into them.
Right.
Just based upon how kind of long-winded it is. In a good way, mind you.
I got you. And to be perfectly fair, it's not like I have any aversion to JRPGs. I just haven't played very many. Like most JRPGs I've played.
That's the way I feel also. It's like
I'm your man with them. I've played. Yeah. Well, I'm your man with old ones anyway.
Yeah, I got you. Because my JRPG cred is sort of spread out and more concentrated toward modern stuff. Like I've played Record of Agarest War. I played Valkyria Chronicles. So good games, but when it comes to back in the day, those RPGs, woefully underexperienced.
Okay, guys, you forgot the best because you were mentioning about Final Fantasy. You forgot one moment for Final Fantasy X.
The laugh that we're not going to mention. Yeah, get it for PC and play it in Japanese.
now I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look up what the laugh is in Japanese. Maybe it's less.
Okay, do that on your own time.
Not, of course, not now.
So so to close out the segment, favorite console.
Got to be the Genesis.
Always gonna be the SNES for me, but I'm a JRPG guy, so of course.
Mine's gonna be decidedly more modern, but still retro. Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I always thought they didn't get the chance they should have had.
That's the way I felt it.
I think they got kind of fucked over.
Yeah. Okay. And here's where I launch into it. The Dreamcast represents a dead era of gaming, where console beyond the Dreamcast, every console has been the same. Dreamcast is the last console to specialize in anything.
Well, yeah, because they all started copying each other. I mean, I guess you could argue the Wii kind of had some innovative ideas with the Wiimote and whatnot, but yeah,
Nintendo's always been a wild card. Since the N64 era, they've kind of been a wild card. Like
no question about that.
The GameCube was
pretty stock. I mean,
the GameCube was.
It was a safe console.
Up to date with what else was out at the time.
Yeah.
But the Dreamcast was really the end of an era. After the Dreamcast, every console strived to be the PlayStation 2.
Unfortunately, you're right about that.
A mid-level, basic console that doesn't really specialize in anything.
I'm not knocking a PS2. It's actually the way I actually have a lot of games on there I actually like.
And don't get me wrong. The PS2 is a great console, had a great library of games, but the Dreamcast was a step above everything else that was out at the time.
Well, I think that Sega actually came up with some of these ideas that I think people, when they encountered them, didn't know what to do with them.
And here's the thing, when you go back to, let's say, like the Wii. And how everyone was up on motion controls, and Sony and Microsoft were playing catch up, trying to get on the motion control bandwagon.
That was actually kind of funny watching that.
That was hilarious, by the way, because I knew it wasn't going to work, and I knew it wasn't going to work from the beginning.
Well, it was funny because of how see-through it was.
And I tried to tell people it wasn't going to work, but they didn't believe me. And so when the Wii U comes, and this is me self-aggrandizing again, when the Wii U comes out, and we don't have motion controls anymore, and the PS4 doesn't have Move, and they discontinue including Kinect with the Xbox One, I'm the one laughing because I knew that was going to happen. Whereas the Dreamcast comes out, and it introduces online play in a big way. It's been done before, but not the way the Dreamcast did it. And now you can't sell a console without online capabilities.
Nah, you're pretty right about that. Okay, so we're gonna probably sit here and completely. We can sit here and talk for hours more about this stuff.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
but we're not going to because this is an anime podcast, and this was a bit of a what would you call that? Sidestepping what we normally do.
Yeah, so it's like we've been around. We've been around as a podcast for what, like 5 years, almost 5 years.
Oh, I think it's almost
going on.
Yes.
Yeah, going on 6 years, and this is the first time we've done a video game, like a video game focused.
A video game.
Episode.
I mean, we went into tangents all the time, but
well, of course, and we've done Gamergate episodes, but this is the first time we've done a gaming episode. So I say we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we'll try not to do them too often, but occasionally. Yeah. Well, he went to a con. I mean, it fits. And let's be honest, games and anime do have a kind of slightly symbiotic relationship.
I've always said the overlap between games and anime. It's like this. It's like hands holding. They go hand in hand.
Right, because how many games have had anime, including the ones that we didn't know about in this podcast?
Yeah,
and how many games have been made into an anime, or how many anime have had games?
I was gonna recommend a platformer for the Genesis before we end the show.
All right.
Why not?
You should play Rocket Knight Adventures.
Okay. I have a good friend of mine who actually was at this convention with me. A good friend of mine was really into Rocket Knight Adventures. So
it's really good. It's really tough.
Yeah.
And I know the perfect note to close out on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at what I hope I'm saying this right. Ojij or Ojij.
That's George.
Yeah.
I know who it is. I'm just trying to say his name, how he's got it here right. But look what he says there, and we can use that as our outro. I think you'll see why.
Oh.
I like it. Okay. That said, that's the show. The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is ntrradio.net. You can find VC stuff at vzmk2moemekigatai.wordpress.com. You can go to Iyashike at iyashike.moe because the stuff there is pretty good. Check out the Bakugajin Show and Otaku Midnight because those are also really good. Follow me on Twitter at TEAnubis, VZ on Twitter at VZMK2, the show on Twitter at NTR_radio.
Not me on, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm Tom Force Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II.
And even though we outlast NeoGaf every time we say it, this